So you or a loved one might find yourselves in trouble right now with law enforcement, and you're wondering whether you're going to end up in deportation proceedings, or perhaps you're already there. Perhaps this mistake you did, or your loved one did, or friend happened many years ago, and you don't know what the immigration consequences are of those actions. Well, this video is for you. My name is Jorge Molina. I am an immigration attorney based in Dallas, Fort Worth, and serving your immigration needs nationwide. This video today is one in a series of other videos regarding immigration court or deportation court. And today we're going to be talking about one or a category of things that could lead you to immigration court, face deportation or removal from the United States. So today we're going to be talking about crimes involving moral turpitude, CMTs for short. So, what are crimes involving moral turpitude? And, the case law will give you a paragraph of a definition. And at the end, it'll say, well, but there's really not a definition. So it's whatever we say. But here's a brief, short one that could work for your purposes. So a CMT is a morally wrong act done to another that violates social norms. Okay, so let me repeat that. It is a morally wrong act done to another that violates social norms. There's three components. So there must be an action. It must be wrong by itself. And three, it must violate social norms, right? So what are some examples of CMTs? Well, anything that has to do with deception or fraud, anything of that nature would be considered a quintessential or typical CMT. And these are things like identity theft, immigration fraud, forgery. Then there's other categories of crimes that, depending on where you committed the crime, or if you're admitting to committing a crime in certain circumstances, we can talk a lot more about that. But for our purposes, just know that not only can you be found to have committed a CMT if you were convicted, meaning, you saw a judge, you pled guilty, or, you were found guilty for an offense. In certain circumstances, even if you're not convicted of a CMT, you could be found to have committed if you admit to it. But other examples of CMTs are aggravated assault with intent to impede breathing, murder, robbery, things of that nature. So, whether a crime or conduct is a CMT, it's ultimately decided by a judge or an immigration officer. But before you get to that point, where good representation can really help you is by crafting plea deals or creating a plan to avoid the immigration consequences. So, for example, in the state of Texas, simple assault is not a CMT because it doesn't have a culpable mental state in that action, right? So just simple assault. So you cannot be charged with a CMT if you commit simple assault, but you could face some other immigration consequences. So here at the J. Molina Law Firm, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know if something in your record might be problematic for you for immigration purposes, or you wish to become a citizen, first off, we guarantee three things. First, that whenever we're looking at your case, not only is the legal advice going to be correct, but it's going to be the best advice under your circumstances. So putting your interest at first before anyone else's. So number one. Number two, you're going to get fast service. Number three, we're going to do that service with a smile. What I mean by that is, not only are we going to be polite, but you're going to feel like we're on your side. But CMTs can lead you to deportation proceedings. Now, there's certain exceptions to CMT. So there's a big exception known as the petty offense exception. And that is if you commit a CMT that is also a misdemeanor, meaning that it could carry potential sentence of less than 1 year. And the sentence imposed, so whatever the court or the plea deal says, was less than 6 months, that means that it falls within the petty offense exception. So even if you were convicted of a theft, let's say, you made a mistake, put an item in the store that didn't belong to you, you were caught, charged, you pled guilty to it, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to lead you to deportation. Every case is different. In the petty offense exception context, you only get one exception. It's not that everything that would fall within the petty offense exception would be excused, but you get one. And then if you're already lawful permanent resident, it really matters when the CMT was committed, because after a certain amount of time, they can't really deport you for that sort of conduct. And then again, it depends how many you commit, right? So after you commit one, and you have some others, it can start becoming an issue. But if you find yourself in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen, or you're already in deportation proceedings, or you want someone to fight for you, have your best interest at heart, just know that we understand. We're not perfect. We're humans. And we know how hard it is to build a life in the United States. And, we're going to fight for your American dream. We also know how difficult it is to relocate to other countries once you already have a life in the United States. And we also know the feeling of, you've done everything that you could almost right, but you made a mistake. And here comes the government, and they don't see it from your end. They just see you as a criminal. You made a mistake and they want you out. Well, we're on your side, and we understand that we're not perfect. And the first thing we counsel is to recognize that we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but we're learning from our mistakes. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the consequences of your individual actions, or perhaps of the loved ones, make an appointment with us. You can always call us at 469-708-5800. Again, 469-708-5800. Or you can send us an email at info@jmolina.law. Again, info@jmolina.law. Again, my name is Jorge Molina. It will be a pleasure to assist you. Thank you.